Hello, this is Brian Resney, president of Resney Wealth Management, bringing an update about the economy and the investment markets. We continue to look at the global landscape. We look at the growth of the world economies in addition to the United States, and things generally speaking are pretty decent. Not great growth, but moderate growth. Ultimately, I think as we go into next week, I think the Feds will raise rates. I think it's warranted. A lot of the reason for the delay in rates has been really a slow economy overall. But one of the things that happens when the Fed actually raises rates is that banks are more apt to actually lend money to small businesses because they actually make money. And ultimately, I think as rates move up, I think more lending will actually occur. I think consumers will make a few more dollars, not a lot, on their passbook savings account. Remember, in correspondence to rates going up doesn't mean interest on CDs and things will go up at the same level, maybe a little bit, but ultimately it's good for loans for the bank. This will ultimately help the U.S. economy, but we do monitor things closely. Are we concerned about a potential recession going into 2016? We're always concerned about recessions, and that's why we look at data every single day. Currently, we don't see any recessions in our indicators right now, but that may change in a month, 2 months, or even 6 months or a year. We're going to watch them closely. We will make adjustments to our portfolios as necessary. And the recent volatility, as we continue to get questions about that, normal and common. In fact, it's very sad when we look at what happened in California, but I've had a lot of questions about what about if we do have a terrorist attack in the U.S., which of course we just did a little over a week ago. Is that going to affect the equity markets or the U.S. economy? I would say, generally speaking, a lot of investors are starting to tune out terrorist attacks. Not that obviously we're forgetting them, but what I mean by that is I think a lot of individuals realize that a terrorist attack is going to happen or has happened or could happen again. And ultimately, you have to continue with your normal way of life, and that's what our government officials ultimately are telling us is continue what you're doing. Don't stop, because that's ultimately what the terrorists want. So I think what we saw after that terrorist attack, the markets actually ended up going up, generally speaking. You're going to have these issues over time. Geopolitical events have been a normal part of the world economy for hundreds and hundreds of years, and I don't see that stopping ever. It's going to be the natural part of the investment cycle. So with that said, as long as we're seeing growth in the U.S. economy and other parts of the world, which we are seeing, I firmly believe we have an opportunity to make decent returns going forward. The Fed will probably raise rates next week, at least I hope they do. I think that will hopefully spur more lending at the banks, and we could see a number of interest rate increases over time. Not a lot of increases and not fast, and certainly not mechanical in nature based upon a calendar, but based upon Fed data that they see. This could bode well for the U.S. economy on the long term, but as always, expect short-term volatility. If you're a client of our firm and you have any questions at all, please give me a call. If you're not a client of our firm, it's time you became a client. Make sure you listen to my TV and radio shows this weekend. We do have some great information coming out. And of course, send us your email questions that we'll answer on our radio or TV show to Brian Resney at ResneyWealth.com. Have a great day.